Hi, Kevin here. Welcome to the Classic Garage. You never know what you're going to see us doing around here, or half the time we don't even know. Anyway, let's get on with today's project. So we've started our big spring scrap out of all the old scrap cars that are kicking around here. There's too many of them. I've ordered a metal bin from the local metal yard, a 40-yard bin. It's going to come hopefully today, and we're going to start parting these things out and cutting them up. This 99 Ram here, it's going to donate its 360 Magnum and 4-speed tranny to Project Road Trek over there. See, he's smiling knowing he's getting a new engine. Anyway, I advertised this on Marketplace. It's proved pretty popular. Lots of guys want parts off of it. There must still be lots of these second-gen Rams on the road. So anyway, that's it. We've made it to lunchtime now. At least you can see the engine now. I'll let you know when the bin gets here. She's slowly disappearing. The body is pretty easy to cut up because you just kind of, it's like connect the dots. You go between the rust holes with the saw and it goes pretty quickly. Got quite a good pile going right now. And the guy is on his way with a 40-yard bin for us to start filling up. Oh, this is going to be fun, fun, fun. Our bin has arrived. It's a 40-yard bin. We could start filling her up. The goal is to get 10,000 pounds in it, and then they don't charge it for bringing it and taking it back. So we got to round up 10,000 pounds of junk around here to fill this thing. I don't think it'll be a problem, but we'll see. We're weighing it as it goes in. Here's the first 230 pounds. Moving right along, it's time to start sawing up the cab. I love doing this. It's going kind of slow today. I got to go out this afternoon, so I don't really feel like getting a great big mess started chopping on this truck. So something that I do have to get done, and unfortunately is very time consuming for what you get out of it, is I got to cut up all this old fence wire. You want to get yourself in big trouble, try and take old fence wire to a scrap metal yard. They have a fit because you can see the stuff. It gets all tangled and everything, and it makes it very hard for them to load trucks and unload trucks and move stuff around in the yard. It even gives trouble to the machines, the shredders, where it ultimately goes. So we cut it up, and then it's okay. They don't mind it if it's cut up. So that's what we're doing right now. It looks like a lot of work, but it actually goes pretty quickly once you get down to it. So we managed to finish cutting up all the cow fence. That took quite a while, and that was a lot of work for 50 pounds of metal, but that's what you got to do to get it in the bin so that they don't freak out. So let's have a look in here. We've been keeping track of what we put in here and erring on the side of caution because, you know, we don't want to overestimate. But that's 2,500 pounds. So we're a quarter of the way to our 10,000 pound goal, and now I can get back at chopping up that old truck. Time for this poor old thing to disappear. That's it. The whole body is gone. Then that is always the hard part. You go through so many blades and pain in the ass cutting sheet metal. Cutting this heavy frame stuff is easy in comparison. The saw has a lot easier time with it. There it is, all the sheet metal. Adios, amigo. We'll weigh that up and get it in the bin after lunch. Starting to chip away at the chassis now. I've got the rear end out. Later on, I'm going to crawl under the van out there and see if the center dimension of the spring perches is the same as this or not. I may in the end actually have an easier time just finding a 9 1/4 van rear end housing and put the 355 sure grip from this one in it. I'm not sure at this point. For now, we keep this rear end all in one piece. It's got big U-joints, had a nice aluminum drive shaft, so this could be okay. I've got the chassis cut now to the back of the transmission. What I'm going to do now is I have to store the engine and transmission till it's ready to go in the van. Well, till I'm ready to fix it up to put it in the van. So I'm going to strip down a lot of the stuff that I don't need off of it. I'm probably going to end up going with my original V-belt setup and all the front engine accessories that go along with that. Mostly because I want to have onboard air. I've got an old York or Tecumseh AC compressor, which is great for that. And all the bracketry and everything to install it. So I think we'll just stick with the old school front stuff on the engine. And I'll keep this stuff around, don't get me wrong, in case I can't make that other setup work. I'm not sure how the York AC compressor is going to interact with the intake manifold on this thing. But time will tell. I'm certainly not going to throw anything out, but I am going to strip this down some so it's a smaller package for storage. Got most of the front accessories and stuff off the engine just to make it into a little more manageable of a package. Now I've taken the front cross member out of the frame. I'm going to take the steering linkage off now and I'll saw it off just in front of the control arms. Then I guess we'll be ready. We'll lift the engine and tranny off. I'll saw up the rest of the frame, get it out of here. And wow, before you know it, this whole truck will just be gone. All I got left to do now is get these lower control arms off of here. I got the front bolts out. I just got to get the back bolts out, pull the control arms off and the springs, and then I'll decide if I can manhandle that chunk of chassis on my own. That's it. Otherwise, I'll just saw the cross member in half. And we'll go from there. That's it for the truck. I got the rear end over there. I'm just going to take the wheels off and put it somewhere for now. Not sure if I'm going to use it or not. I may end up just using the guts from it. But we'll see. I'm not going to throw it out in case there's any possibility I may need it. Here's the rest of it here in the box, all cut up and ready to go. Next thing we're going to be bringing in is the old 2008 Caliber. Time for it to go bye-bye. Next in is this '08 Caliber. We're going to be stripping her down and chopping her up. The engine is good. The CVT transmission is good. It's got some good tires on it. So we'll be saving a few things for our Caliber and selling off what we don't need. First up is a compression test. Just about got our Dodge Caliber done in here. Not much left. I got to pull the dashboard out, the rest of the interior, the headliner and stuff. We're going to try and get the windshield out of it. If not, no big loss. Then I got to drop the rear suspension and the fuel tank, and we can saw her up and put her in the bin. We're down to pretty much a bare shell now. Nothing in it. Just the windshield. We're going to try and save that. Just drop the whole rear suspension out of it. Basically 6 bolts and the whole thing all comes out in the ground. 6? No, 8. Yep, 8 bolts and down she comes. Kind of a crusty looking thing. Ours has a new one in it, so I won't be saving this. Just right into the bin with it. The progress is slow cutting up this Caliber. I don't know what this car is made out of. It's, you know, of the newer generation. I've never cut up a car this new. I guess with all the safety and stuff, they put some hardened steel and stuff into the structure. Oh, it's so hard. Like here, I start cutting. I get through the painted part. And once I get to whatever's inside, it just stops cutting. There's sparks coming off the blade. It's unbelievable. I don't know what this car is made out of, but it's not the normal metal that I'm used to cars being made out of. So we've gone to the old faithful. We're going to get the cutting torch out and see if that'll make a dent in it. Unbelievable. Thank goodness the next two we're chopping up are neons. I could just about take them apart with a pair of scissors compared to this thing. Fun times. First they make it so it's some kind of material that you can't cut with a saw. So I said, okay, no problem, I'll grab the torch. Well, then I find out that the whole bottom of it is filled with spray foam. Real fun when you go at it with a cutting torch. Oh my God. Anyway, we're getting there. After dinner, Deb's going to come and help me. We're going to try and cut the windshield out of it because it's in good shape. And if anything ever happened to ours, it'll cost me nothing more than a tube of urethane to change it. And then once the windshield's out, then chop, done. This thing will be out of here lickety split. I got to saw up that quarter panel too. I took it off in one piece. The other one I took off in 4 pieces. It was way easier. But now we're gaining on it. I can't wait to get a neon in here. They're so easy. We finally managed to get the Nightmare Dodge Caliber out of here. I'll never try and cut one of those up again. Thank God we got something easy to deal with now, a neon. These things cut up, it's like you could just about take it apart with a pair of scissors. So we're going to be harvesting lots of parts from this one. And I'll see you in a few minutes as it starts to disappear. Our little neon is coming apart quite nicely. We're saving a lot of parts for this, from this. For our racing cars and whatnot. Another thing that's really cool, we're going to grab for Project Road Trek. It's got the mirror with the built-in compass and thermometer, outside thermometer. So that's really cool. I'm going to put that in the van. Our poor neon is seeing better days. Oh well, it's going to good use. And I can't save them all. Even though, Lord knows I've tried. That's all that's left of our little neon. The rear cross member. Now, it'd make it a lot easier to work at. I gotta get those. There's 2 bolts about 8 inches long that go right through that. And through the bushings on those lateral arms. I have to get that all out without wrecking it. That one, the bushing came out. But it's okay. The bushing is intact. I can put it back in. Then I don't have to buy any lateral arms. That's good. All done with the neon. It's in here now. I'll give you a look here how we're making out. As I've told you, we've been weighing it as we put it in, and we err on the side of caution. So according to our figures, we've got exactly 6,000 pounds in here now. And that's basically the bodies of bodies. 4 cars and 1 pickup truck. There's a 75 Valiant, a PT Cruiser, a Neon, a Ram, and a Caliber. Now, we've just rolled into the garage our new PT Cruiser that came home the other day. This one's an 02 base model. Not a bad car, but it's very rusty and the transmission is kaput. So there's a couple of goodies on it. That air intake thing will be handy for the race car. We're just about now to check this engine out and see if it's okay. I've been driving it around. It runs really nice. We're just going to give it a compression test and make sure it's healthy. I can usually sell these for 100 or 150 bucks. Lots of people looking for them still. Even the inside of it isn't too bad for the base model. It's like a kind of a light beigey gray with gray cloth seats. I don't mind it at all. It even smells nice. But anyway, that's it. We're going to blow this one apart and put it in the bin with the rest of them. Looks snazzy with the neon RT wheels on it, eh? That's what I had to put on it to bring it home. The fellow wanted to keep his wheels. Had brand new tires on them. Anyway, we're going to get to work. Gosh, this car is really rusty. The frame's all rotten out of it. It's a good thing whoever the previous owner stopped driving it. This wasn't long for this world. We're working our way here to get the engine out. We think we found the reason why the transmission wasn't working. The computer, which sits over here on the frame rail, was totally rotted out. But anyway, I'm not going to take a chance. I never felt this thing shift, so we're just going to toss the transmission in the scrap bin. But we will keep the engine. The last one I had no problem selling it. So we'll pull this out, put it on a skid, and if somebody needs it, I'll sell it cheap. I'm just happy to keep another PT going. PT Cruiser's moving along nicely. Got the engine out, sitting here, ready to go to its new home, wherever that may be. Just getting ready now to start sawing up the shell. I just got to drop the rear axle out and drop the fuel tank down. And there's a couple of bits and pieces left in the interior. And we can start sawing up the body and get it in the bin. We're getting near 7,000 pounds. Only 3,000 to go. Woot woot. PT Cruiser gone. We'll weigh this up, throw it in the bin, and see what our total's at now. It's going to be a big monumentous thing to get to 7,500. That'll be the 3/4 mark of our goal. Right now we're sitting at 7,000, so we'll see what we've got in here. There's probably a good 200 or 300 in here yet. And we'll go from there. See you after lunch. So after the end of today, we had a really good couple of days. We went from, I don't know, we were in the 4s, and we've got this thing up to 8,750 pounds now. And we got lots of room left. There's 6 cars in here now, if you can believe it. That'd be quite a high school project for somebody to put them all back together. Tomorrow, this one's going to go in. It's a 95 Neon that's been sitting in the back barn for 10 years, and I've never done a damn thing with it. So, that's it. Time's up. Chop, chop. In the bin it goes. That's tomorrow's project. Well, it's curtains for the blue Neon. Sure, it was a great little car. Now we can make it into pop cans or something. I always like first generation Neons are my favorite car to saw up. They are the easiest car in the world I've ever sawed up. They're just so perfectly built. Not too much metal, but it's just so strong and light at the same time, and easy to chop up. Anyway, that's that. We're at 9,600 pounds now in the bin. We've got to get another 400 in here to make our number, and we could probably fit another 1,000 in here easy. So we'll keep searching around here for stuff. This was pretty much the last car to cut up. There's 7 cars in here. Can you believe that? Wow. Anyway, we'll start looking around in the buildings now and just getting rid of loose junk that's lying all around. I might thin out my collection of, I've got 100 drive shafts. Do I really need 100 drive shafts? Probably not. And all kinds of other junk. If I start really scrounging around, I'll be able to find a lot of stuff to get rid of. Anyway, see what we can do tomorrow. We're moving along, filling our bin. There's 10,750 pounds in it now. Next thing we're going to fire in there is this old Slant 6. It met an untimely death due to all the water coming out of it and someone trying to make it home. Well, they didn't make it. Anyway, it is what it is. We're going to take it apart. I see a couple of bits I'm going to keep off it though. Power steering bracket, power steering pulley. People are always looking for that stuff. I might hang on to it just for me in case I ever get sick of my little Valiant and want to put power steering on it. Anyway, we're going to take this thing apart now and get it in there. Yes, you can kill a Slant 6. What a mess. That's number 1 cylinder. Head gasket burned in 2 places. Top corner of the piston melted off. Look at all this on here from the detonation. Wow, that's how hot this poor thing got. Another breach in the head gasket there. breach there, breach there, breach there. Wow, what a mess. We're pretty much done sawing up scrap cars now. The bin is getting there. Yesterday we passed 11,000. We're at 11,150, I think, now in the bin, and there's still a pile of room in the back half of it. So what we've done now is, while the weather's nice, I'm moving on to my shed, and then we're going to go into the barn and see what we can find to put in the bin. There's a lot of junk in here. Stuff I've been saving up for years because I thought I might need it. But, you know what? It's time to clean it up. I got too much crap. I want to be able to move in here again. This is a big mess. Well, we're nearly at the end with the bin. We're at 14,825 in it. I need to come up with 175 more pounds to make our ultimate goal of 15,000 pounds in there. I've got this Ford 8.8 rear end. It'll just be the bare housing and the axles going in there. I'm keeping it's got a 373 track lock in it. I'll be keeping that. I've already got a few things in the scale bin over there, so we're gonna make our weight, and this is awesome. So yeah, once I get this rear end torn apart, we can call and have them come pick up the bin and go get our money. Well, that's the last of it. We made our goal, 15,050 pounds. So now we're gonna get this in and call them up to come pick up the bin. Then I guess later on, after they come and get it, we can go and get our cash. So there you have it. That's 15,050 pounds. Weight on our scales. We'll see how that transmits to their scales. Should be interesting. And we tried to err on the side of caution when we were weighing it. So, well, I guess we're going to find out. I'm going to go in and call them now. And after it goes back up to the yard and gets weighed officially, then we'll see where we're at.